he can predict when you're gonna die, but he doesn't know when. He could just predict the number. And originally the idea was like it was gonna be like the month or the date or like day. Uh, and then I was like, what if he thinks he's predicting the when you die, but he's actually setting it. He just doesn't know. He doesn't know he's setting it. So he picks a number and he sets either the month, day, week, hour, minute, second.
I think you've been watching too much M. Night Shyamalan.
And I was like, he can do that, and they will actually, depending on like on the intent he has for them, they either die of like a severe death or they get horribly injured and are incapacitated, essentially. And he's like, I like that, and I was like, we could call him Foreshadow.
Foreshadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're watching too much M. Night Shyamalan.
I have not seen like a damn thing at M. Night Shyamalan.
That's a lie. That's a lie, and I know it's a lie because I know that you are basically the token movie guy for the Rektfast Club. Also, welcome to the Rektfast Club podcast episode. I forgot the number.
Episode Die in a Fire.
I should really check the numbers like before we start. That way I can, because I've done this like the last 3 or 4 episodes. I always forget what episode number it is.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens every time.
I should probably put in my part and keep track of that too, but you guys don't pay me, so
I don't. I mean, we don't pay me, so no one gets paid here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
Anyways, welcome back to the Rektfast Club podcast. I am Jon. This is Noe. We are here to talk about stuff and things. I don't know. What do we have on the docket today?
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the local event near us, which was San Japan that happened. Was it
last week?
Of recording this last week?
Yep. Last weekend. Fun times. You got to go for the whole weekend. I only showed up on Saturday.
Yeah. So it was a pretty weird experience this time because I had to go by myself, go check in and move everything up into the room, which is kind of annoying. But, it is what it is.
Wait.
And then I had to go back and pick up my sister because she had to work that day.
Oh, wow. So you had to drive over there, get checked in, get moved in, and everything like that, and then go pick her up. That's annoying, actually. But I mean,
especially when you don't get out to like 1:30 in the morning. Yeah.
I had to. That's kind of nuts.
Plus side, I got the hotel room for myself for a few hours, so I kind of just left about in the hotel room.
That's cool. So they let you pick up the badges and everything without her being there?
Yeah, I bought someone else's badge online, and they sent me the email with their name on it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the other badge I have, and they just scanned it. Here you go.
That's didn't bother. Weird that they actually just let that happen, but okay. That's kind of cool and weird.
It's perfectly fine by me. I was worried that they were gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna need the ID for that badge, and I was like,
yeah. That would have been a difficult situation, but yeah, at least you got it done.
But yeah, it was pretty good. Picked up the badges, settled in Thursday night. For me, Friday started late. Didn't hit the floor till like 12 because there wasn't really anything I wanted to go see until then. And it was pretty good. Got to see a lot of things, mainly a bunch of panels about voice acting, artistry, stuff like that. I don't know. I've tended to like wander away from like the Q&A panels for the most part and been going for more of like learning, inquiring. Kind of like
in my experiences, it's kind of like you want to mix the two of them to get an interesting panel. So that you're learning something, but it's also still interactive, and you're not just sitting there for a lecture kind of thing. Right. So as long as there's some kind of interactiveness to the panel, then it's good. But
like the jazz group we saw Saturday, like they just didn't go up there and just play music. They were asking for requests.
Yeah,
they kept talking with us.
Yeah, that's the way to do things. Keep that interactivity up.
They memed it up pretty hard, which is great.
Pretty hard. Yeah, this song is about the cosmos. Somebody wants that was a good one.
Those guys are fantastic. Team 4-Star was always fantastic. They premiered the episode 60 part 1 Friday.
And did they actually show it there?
Yeah, they showed it there.
Oh, nice.
On Friday.
Then it went up like the
This
next day or something like that, right?
went up like right after that.
Ah.
So yeah, and it was pretty cool. Like they always put on a good panel. Lenny wasn't there, neither was Takahata, but Kaiser and what's his name, Masako, still put on a good panel, good show.
I don't know what you're talking about. You could very plainly see Takahata and Lanny up there.
You're funny.
No, they make that joke pretty often. It was Grant and Kieran, I think,
Yeah,
that
it's
look
Grant
like them and very frequently get asked if they are them or whatever or mistaken for them.
I actually ran into Kieran and Grant, and I was like, "Hey, Kieran, Grant, what's up?" And they're just like, "Who?" And he's like, "I'm Takahata," and he's like, "And I'm Lenny," and I was like, "You guys are funny. You guys are running with the joke pretty hard." And they're just like, "Yeah, thanks for actually recognizing us for us." And I
Yeah,
was like, "Yeah,
well, their faces are different, so I mean, it's not like hard to tell the difference between the two of them. Yeah, the rest of
no,
them's pretty similar, but I mean,
maybe from like a distance for Kieran and Takahata, they're very similar body shaped. They have long hair. I
yeah,
think Taka's the
but then you look at the face and you're like, yeah, that's not Taka.
Yeah, but if you look at them both from behind, it's like you're watching two people, like you're watching twins walking away from
Well,
you.
how often are you looking at people from behind?
No, I'm
That's a
just saying.
sex joke.
And Grant was a pretty good sport. He's cool. But yeah, it's really crazy to run into those guys just on the floor walking around. Like I'm just surprised like Team 4 Star fans aren't mobbing them all the time.
I've realized that there's sort of a thing here, and it happens with some voice actors and some other content creator type people, where not 100% of the fan base actually knows what they look like, and if it's not a panel named this, and you say here is who is at this panel or whatever, then they would not be able to recognize them. That has definitely happened to me before with other voice actors at some of the earlier cons I've been to. It's like, oh, I didn't know that was them. I walked past them 3 times today in the hall.
Oh, well, yeah, that happened to me a few years back with Team 4 Star. Like when they first came to St. Japan, I didn't realize I was standing in the elevator with Takahata. He was dressed as Loki.
Yeah, and well, I mean, there's also the one. There's also, I can tell there's actually a level of respect.
That too.
Sometimes where people will kind of let them kind of do their own thing. A couple of years ago, when Matt Mercer went to San Japan or whatever, was Marisha there also? I don't remember. His wife or his now wife.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because I remember seeing him at the bar. There at the Hyatt. Is it the Hyatt we stay at?
Yeah, the Grand Hyatt.
This an I'd read.
Yeah.
It's
fucking
no,
expensive
he was.
as fuck.
Yeah, he was at the bar at the Hyatt, and he was hanging out. I think it was with Marisha or possibly just another fan, but they were just hanging out and having a drink or whatever. And there's a bunch of people around him, like some of them dressed as characters that he plays, just not bothering, just let him do his thing or whatever. So there is some level of respect where they'll kind of just let them,
which is
be
pretty
a
great
geek at the con. Yeah.
That's the one thing I can say I'm proud of San Japan for doing is because I've been to like other conventions in here in Texas that are not that cordial. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the region or what, but like
Right.
like Akon, like they swarmed. What's his name? What's his name? Todd Hypercorn when he was there in Dallas. Like anytime he walked out of a room, he was just like mobbed for the most part.
I guess there's also a possibility that the size of the con, if it's a bigger con, you have a bigger chance of that kind of thing happening. And Akon is a little bit bigger, so.
But yeah, no, I just thought that was great. Like they got to hang out. I know at one point, it was their first year. I think it was the second year that Team 4 Star came. I know Lenny and like Taka went to like the local bar down the street. It was like, yeah, meet us there, and that bar was just like packed because they were getting drunk with their fans.
Dang.
It was pretty hilarious, actually.
Yeah, that's the kind of con stuff I typically miss. Like all the come hang out with us, we're over here or whatever, because I'm off doing one panel or another, or just hanging around the game room or whatever. I tend to miss a lot of that stuff, unfortunately.
I've been meaning to stop by their booth when they're not at panels. Like when they're not doing panels, I need to.
Yeah, there's always somebody there.
Yeah, just go buy and just not even to buy something. I mean, I'll probably buy something just because, but mainly just to chat them up and just like, hey, like, I just want to pick your brain that's not in front of a whole fucking audience about something. And it's not even like related to like what they're doing. It's just like how they go about it. Like,
And then like, no, screw you. Wait for the QA panel.
right? No, they're usually pretty cool about it. As long as you're not like 21 questions, it's like one or two and you're just casually chatting with them. They don't care.
Or as long as you're not in the QA panel trying to ask 2 questions when they say very clearly 1 question only.
Oh, I know.
That happens a little bit too often, but
I
I mean,
love
I understand it still.
Yeah, like people get excited and they want to ask the questions and whatnot, but it's just like you need to understand that they're here to entertain everybody, not just you.
No,
That's
but
the only.
but
That's
they
the
make
only.
content for me.
That's the only problem I have is we do have some of those people that show up. At least I've seen it more so for Team 4 Star than any of the other guests that we've had so far at San Japan. But you have people that are like that, like, oh, since I support you on your Patreon and since I've done all this, you got to answer all this for me now.
Yeah,
It's just
no.
like, no.
That's not how that works.
Like the guy that tried to do that, they're just like, oh, this guy gets 3 questions. Aren't you special? What did you do? Like they gave him so much crap for it, and they're just like, nah, dude, you're keeping it to 1 question. You could tell he got upset too. But anyways, that's long story short. San Japan was great. Panels were fun. I actually spent Sunday there walking around looking at the dealer's room, artist alley, instead of looking at them like during like Saturday or Friday. And I found some good stuff, man. I got some gifts for a few people, some plushies. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Tired as hell. I think I did all my walking for the year.
Yeah, no, when I got there on Saturday, by the time that I had parked, walked to the con, got my badge, and then, like, done a lap around the dealer's room while I was waiting for y'all fuckers to wake up, I had hit my step goal for the day, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just doing it now.
Right. Somebody bring me a chair.
Right. Well, I mean, there was plenty of chairs, but I took a couple laps around the dealer's room and artist alley. Saw some nice stuff. I didn't actually come away with anything this time because I still haven't even put up the art that I bought from last year. It is still sitting next to the spots that they will be posted without a frame. But yeah. I did find some board games that I considered buying there since they were marked off a little, but I didn't get them at the time.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. The only other thing I can talk about out of that was for the first time being walked up on by a girl and her asking to, have my number and stuff. That was interesting.
You did not tell me about this.
I did not.
You did not tell me about this.
And the reason being is because I didn't want to make it like a big deal. Because
that's why you waited for the podcast to mention it.
Yes. That's why I waited for the podcast to mention it to you anyways. Well, no, just because like I told mostly everybody after the convention about it. Like my sister knew like what was going on during it. And I was like, mainly because like I'm supposed to go meet up with her for food on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I like split off from you guys. Like, I'm gonna go check on Jess. Went and checked on her, and I split off for food. Met her up for food and stuff.
Oh,
yeah, she's pretty cool. She's not from around. Oh, she's born here in Texas. Long story short, she lives out of state, which is cool. It's fun time.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Did you plug the channel?
Is this an ad read?
Did you plug the channel?
Yeah, I gave her mine. You
mine. Fool!
And I gave her that guy, fat guy, and I said, you pretty much can find me here, here, and here. And she's gone across and seen like everything so far. And I told her we'd be recording a podcast soon too, so I'm probably going to tell her about that after we're done. That it's going to be going up. What?
Nah, it's just funny.
Yeah,
I just think it's funny that you waited until now to tell me.
Well, it's one I forgot to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I got kind of caught up in the whole thing, and two, This is usually when we talk the most.
Why? I mean, well, yeah. Statistically speaking, that's true.
Yeah, I'm about to say you laugh, but it's true. Like the most conversation we get nowadays is when we're recording this.
We just have complicated schedules, man.
Yeah, but yeah, San Japan was great. Outside of that, um, the only other thing I wanted to hit on is how great Overwatch plays on PC. Now that I own it on PC,
Congratulations, you are now part of the family.
I now I understand why
The
it's kind of hard
real family.
to go back and play on console because Jesus, it just feels so wrong after it feeling so great on PC.
It's not to console shame, but I mean, I can't disagree with you. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Try not to console shame. Like if you enjoy playing on console, by all means, do you. But Overwatch for me plays better on PC
yeah,
a whole lot.
because we both now have it on PC and PS4. I did get it on PC first.
Mm.
I picked it up on PS4 because I got into the PS4 game late, but when I picked it up, everyone was still playing it. So I was like, okay, well, no one at the time was playing it with me on PC. So I was like, well, I want to play with friends. So I picked it up and put a lot of hours in on the PS4 version. And then as people weaned off of playing it more frequently, then I went back to PC, and I still really have not stopped. If you can look and listen to like any of the podcasts we recorded, then you will hear me talk about Overwatch in some capacity, like every single episode.
All the time. You are literally you have Blizzard balls deep in you.
It's my game. It is my game. Yeah,
It's fine. No worries. It's just like when we had the stint of just nothing but space engineers. It's fine.
yeah. I mean, I went back to Space Engineers. Actually, I do still play that. It's just I'm kind of sad that nobody gets on and plays with me, even though we have the server up and everything.
I've been meaning to get on it. I'm trying to actually get to other games that I have like bought.
Nah, other games don't exist.
Like I haven't even played God of War, and I bought that when it came out.
Nah, you don't need to play that. You don't need to play God of War.
A single player game. What heresy is this?
No, you can just go read Norse mythology, and there's your game. There's your God of War.
Nah. But yeah, and then I bought Spiderman, which I was playing before we started recording this, and let me tell you, it's a pretty damn good game.
Hearing a lot of good things. I am hearing one thing about it actually. A graphical change that went in.
Puddlegate.
Yeah, Puddlegate basically.
It's stupid.
Yeah, no, I understand it. I haven't gotten a chance to take a look at the actual side by side comparisons, but I understand what they did and why they did it. But still, for those that are uninitiated, let's kind of explain what Puddlegate is.
So what Puddlegate is essentially from the E3 trailer review or whatever to what the current game is now. Puddles have been changed and moved, and apparently there's no more reflections in said puddles when you find one or in any surfaces. Now, I got one thing to say about that is the fucking reflections are fucking bullshit thing to have in a game. Mainly because of the fact that when they present something at E3, like developers, they're presenting to you what they're hoping the game is going to be. That's what they're building the game to be. They want it to look that way. They want it to play that way. When it comes down to the development time and you get closer and closer to your deadline, you start hitting like these milestones or bumps in the road that make the game not perform as well, performance-wise. So you have to cut back on a few things, i.e. the reflections. Because apparently there's supposed to be like reflections of you in the glass, puddles, stuff like that. There's still actually that in the game, and the game graphically has not been degraded at all, apparently.
Yeah, what I was hearing is that did have to come out for basically for performance reasons, and they also had to change the suit a little bit so that it looks better in motion. And then when you take what I was hearing at least is when you take side by side screenshots of the comparisons, it's gonna look worse, but it's supposed to look better in motion. And I completely understand all of that. Like if it's actually for making the experience as you're playing the game better, all for it.
Dude, I can tell you right now, the game looks beautiful. Like playing it for the past like 2-3 hours, I I'm glued to the game, eyes glued. The suit looks amazing. The game looks really pretty.
Yeah. Now I do kind of want to nitpick on what you were saying about E3. It's like some of them, yeah, they are showing stuff and they'll put up the note, pre-alpha footage or whatever. This is in development. It's going to change, and we know that. A lot of us should know that, but there's also still a strong belief that a lot of things that you should be showing at E3, or other TGS type stuff, Gamescom, are stuff that should be mostly complete. There's like, this is what the finished product is going to look like, and there's a belief to that, and there's also the belief in it being okay to show in development stuff. I'm okay with either, as long as you're not telling us 5 years out from you even having a demo or a beta or gameplay or anything like that. It's fine. You can tell us, you can show us your development stuff, but like,
right. And that's the thing, like, and even then, like, it's not something set in stone. And when development's happening, there are things that will change. Maybe there's something that they implemented that they weren't planning on having in the game that they felt like they needed, and so they had to do that in order to get it to work. Or maybe they just ran into a problem that they just weren't expecting. It's development. You can't always foresee what's gonna happen. So people who are up in arms about the whole thing, about this Puddlegate stuff, it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I understand it. I understand like both sides of that argument, but I haven't played it yet, and I haven't actually seen the stuff myself. But like, I'm not really bothered by something like that.
I will tell you right now, you will not be disappointed by the look of the game. That's all I'm going to say. It is very, very pretty. And it's smooth. It runs fantastic. The other thing about it is, like, the combat is pretty good. It's very Arkham-esque. So if you're a fan of, the Arkham series, the fighting is going to be similar to that. But I feel like they've taken like all the good cues from that and improved on it. There's a lot of aerial stuff you can do with Spider-Man, and it's fucking great.
Drew was saying there's only one music cue that comes on when you start swinging around. Is that true?
There is so far only one music cue, and it kind of bugs me.
Okay, a small gripe. Like, it's
a very small gripe.
Something to mention, but wouldn't impact the actual score, kind of thing.
No. Like, it makes sense for why they're using that as the score, and probably why they didn't use anything else, because it just fits. And you're constantly moving from place to place, and when you're swinging around, you're not just, well, at least right now, I'm not goofing off enough to where I could just sit there and listen to it go over and over again.
Right.
I'm constantly like, oh, there's a car chase. Let's go flip this car over and get these assholes out of it. Oh, hey, look, there's a robbery. Oh, hey, look, they're holding someone up. Oh, hey, look, they're breaking into the top of a building. Oh, hey, look, backpack. Like, and that's the one thing I was going to mention, actually. The combat and the gameplay itself is so nice and it's so great. The grind that is built into the game, like, finding the collectibles. There's even towers you have to unlock the city, so you can see where the collectibles are and where the events are happening. It's not so bad because of the way how great the game plays. Like, and that could just be me. I could just be wanting a really good Spider-Man game for a while, and I finally got that. But I really haven't, like, again, I barely started the game, so it hasn't really gotten a chance to see if it's got staying power or if it's going to wane on me. But so far, like, I've been running around collecting up all the backpacks. Because once you collect all the backpack, you unlock the Homecoming suit, like the one he makes in the movie.
Nice. Yeah,
so I want that. I want that suit. I've been running around doing that, and every now and then, what's pretty cool, especially when you're progressing through the story, you'll hear J. Jonah Jameson come on with his podcast or whatever, talking about Spider-Man, and it's hilarious. Like, I just heard one where Peter calls in and he's pretending to be somebody else, and he's trying to, like, argue for Spider-Man for himself, and J. Jonah Jameson just gives him the door, essentially. It's really cool. Because there was also one where a plumber calls in and it's just like, hey, like, you need to lay off of Spider-Man. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, are you the police? Like, do you, like, blah 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 blah? And he's like, no. He's like, cool, go back to fixing my pipes then. Don't talk about stuff you don't know what you're doing or talking about or what you do. It's like these police officers have a job to do, and he's taking their job away from them, essentially. Kind of bullshit. And it's just like, wow. It's pretty great.
Heroes, man. Speaking of heroes, My Hero
Yeah,
Academia.
yeah. Actually, yeah. My Hero Academia has been airing. It's been going pretty strong. I'm super freaking hyped for that. Like for today, I haven't watched it yet.
I
A friend
just
of mine.
watched it this morning.
Oh, I hate you. Don't.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
All I'll say is I completely understand why so many people cosplayed as X character.
Yeah.
Anyone who has watched today's episode, which is episode number 60, I believe, will understand what I meant by that.
Okay. Cool. Don't spoil it for me. Great. But yeah, My Hero Academia is still being the most popular anime out there, and for good reason. Like, I always take a step back and go, man, do I like the show because I actually like it, or is it because of the hype? I'm on the hype
Yes.
train.
No, you will like it because it's good.
Yeah, no, it's fucking fantastic. It's a great, great shonen. So if you haven't watched My Hero Academia yet, get out from under the rock you're living under and go watch it. The other thing I was going to mention was a show on Netflix called Magic is for Humans, or Magic for Humans, I think it's called. If you haven't watched it, John, watch it. It's pretty great.
I think I know what the show is, but describe
Yeah,
it.
you've seen the clip going around the internet.
The
most
invisible
popular-
dude, right?
Yeah, where they convince the guy he's invisible. Dude, the whole setup for that is nuts. Like, it's you got to watch the whole thing. The clip doesn't do it justice. Like, the dude, like, oh man, it's so good. It's pretty much this guy just taking magic and just dialing it up a notch. Like, that's all I can like describe it as. Like, he just takes magic and goes, "Oh, you think that you know the tricks to magic? Let me go ahead and show you something that you just can't explain."
Or in the case of the most popular scene out there, dials it down.
Right. Like, at some point, and again, apparently it's done without any camera tricks or anything. Like he says at the beginning of the whole show, like there is no camera tricks. There's no like edits to make this happen. This is all happening in real time. How true that is, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've worked a magic show once, so like,
One of the tricks that really freaked me out is he took a dude's phone and he pulled up a picture of a spider on it and literally just shook the phone and a spider fell into his hand.
I always love those. Those are fun.
Yeah, and it's just like I have a fear of spiders, so I was like, fuck that. If I was that guy, I would have ran.
You like Spiderman?
Nani? Yeah, no, Spider-Man's pretty sweet. But yeah, he did stuff like that. Like, you literally see him change the face of a playing card on camera. Like, he pulls a card out and goes, "Hey, is this your card?" And then he goes, "No, it's not." He goes, "Oh, it's the King of Hearts," and he shakes the card, and you see the face of the card change to the King of Hearts. And if there is no camera tricks to it, I don't know how he did it. I don't know. You watch it and you tell me. There's only like 6 episodes, I think.
Well, that sounds fun.
So that's really good. The only other thing I would recommend is Voltron. If you haven't seen Voltron,
You've been pushing that on. Yeah, you've been pushing that on me for pretty recently. I still need to actually sit down and try and watch that sometime.
Don't watch it if you don't feel pressured to, but I'm just saying it's pretty good.
Well, I know. I remember we sat down and watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes together, and I loved it. But for some reason, I just haven't gone back and watched. It's just one of those situations where I didn't do it, and like it didn't. I don't know. It just hadn't given me enough reason in itself to get back. But one of these days, I'm gonna have like a long weekend and just like nothing else planned and not have to plan a D&D session or something like that. I'm just like, okay, you know what? This is the time, and it's going to happen. Hopefully. That's how a lot of those things happen with me, actually.
Yeah. But whenever you get to it, trust me, it's going to be worth the watch. Once you get past, especially once you get to the end of season 1, you're going to want to keep going.
Okay.
You're gonna go, I need to know what happens next. And that's going to happen every season. I need to know what happens next. In fact, the most recent season, the way how it ends, makes you go, what the fuck? Why? I need the next season. Where is it?
Well, the next season's already out, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's the most recent one. Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's not. And that's they're doing a very good job. DreamWorks has done great with this show. and whoever else that they're partnering with besides Netflix to put it together, because it's not only is it great writing, the visuals are fantastic. They do a great job of blending 3D and 2D animation and artistry together.
Nice.
And it makes some really beautiful scenes. But anyways, enough about me about Voltron. John, what did you want to talk about?
I really don't have that much to talk about. I know that Phil, the other guy who is typically on the podcast with us, he's got some stuff going on right now. But I know that he brought up a topic of wanting to, since Spider-Man just came out, to talk about other superhero games. He's like, what were some of the favorite ones that we've played before? And I actually don't have an answer to that, because going back and thinking about it, I don't think I've actually played any of the superhero games, including the Arkham series or anything like that. I own a lot of them. I haven't started them up, so I don't really have an answer. So just to be a meme lord, I'm gonna say Superman 64.
Man, you haven't played any of the Arkham series?
No, I own I have the first three, but I haven't started them up. No, that's a lie. I started the first one and I do enjoy it, but at the time, that combat system just wasn't pulling me in. Yeah, because I think I mentioned it before, but I'm one of those kind of people where I need to play something that I have a hunger or a thirst for or a craving for at that time. And at that time, I think when I started to play it, I was like ready for a grindy type game or something like that, which is when I picked up Overwatch. But yeah, at some point I need to go back to that one.
You should, because the combat it's like a fighting game, just in a 3-dimensional space.
I wouldn't say that. It felt like AC to me, but it was a good combat system.
No, it's a lot more in depth than AC, especially when you get into the later series. Like
Okay,
AC is button mashing for the most part. Like there are actual combinations of buttons and moves and stuff you can put together.
Well, yeah, no, there is move lists that you can do, but I felt that a lot of it, once you have that 3-dimensional combat system that has a counter in it, and the easiest way to cheese the whole thing is to just counter everything, and then you beat it, then it starts to get into AC things unless you actively choose to not do that. So it's like it's a weird thing. That's why it felt like AC to me, but gotcha. I know that it wasn't. So yeah, it was weird.
Well, that's one of the things
at the time. It was weird.
The new Spider-Man game does well is it's constantly introducing new enemies that can counter that in general. You can't just spam dodge and attack over and over again.
Yeah, because like going back to the older ACs, the 2 and 3 and all those Revelations and all those, before I stopped playing Assassin's Creed altogether, the only time that combat did shift up is when there was enemies that you couldn't counter or that could counter you also. So yeah, that's good that they did that.
Yeah, no, like the game so far has been fantastic. Like, I'm actually kind of dying a lot as Spider-Man because I keep fucking up the dodges. But that's just me. I'm just a fucking shitlord when it comes to actually dodging. That's just the problem I have across all games. You've seen it in Dark Souls. You've seen it in Bloodborne. I don't dodge well. But
I thought you preferred dodge to like block and parry.
I do. It works better for me. But especially when it comes to like the Arkham series and this Spider-Man game, the dodging in it, I haven't found the timing for it right, or I don't respond quick enough because there's so much happening on screen. I can't keep up with it just yet. So that's just me. The game is fun otherwise, and the finishers for Spider-Man are great. But yeah, other than all of that, the only other thing I was going to mention is I'm probably going to go watch Crazy Rich Asians tomorrow.
I've been hearing good things about that movie.
I have too, and it is funny. And I could be wrong. Anybody who actually knows of the material that I'm about to mention can probably correct me if I'm wrong. But it reminded me of like the movie version of Boys Over Flowers, the anime, which is like this really snobby rich boy gets brought to reality by this girl. Well, it's kind of similar. Like he's big old rich boy. He wants to marry this girl even though she's not from wealth, and the mom doesn't approve at all. That's essentially like the premise, and it kind of reminded me of Boys Over Flowers, which is why I wanted to go see it. I kind of like boys over flowers.
Yeah, always remember, pick boys over flowers.
Yeah,
It's too easy. You had to.
yeah, yeah. Of course.
Well, I'm glad I got Phil's question in there since he wasn't able to actually be here. But
Oh yeah.
aside from that, really the only things that I've been up to have been playing Overwatch and planning D&D because that's a lifestyle right there. Those two things that'll fill up a life.
Oh, since you decided to meme it up and give the Superman 64 your answer, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Aquaman 64.
I didn't realize that existed.
You should look up John Strong's video about it.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. I'll look it up later.
But yeah, that's the lifestyle, man.
Yeah, a lot of Overwatch, filling in time whenever I'm not playing. Well, there's some space engineers there too. I found an asteroid. I got to an asteroid that is literally like a couple 100 meters outside of the gravity well of the planet. Unfortunately, the engine cannot handle asteroids being movable, so that's lucky. If they ever update the engine, that's going to be bad times because it's sitting right over the Earth base that I built.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
crashing out. The game I'm talking about is called Aquaman Battle for Atlantis.
Okay, I'll look it up. But yeah, space engineers, a lot of Overwatch. I think at this point I kind of ceased to be a tank and support main now. I've put way too many hours into Junkrat and Pharah. And yet still whenever I go in quick play, I am not going to be able to play them because everyone else insta-locks DPS. So here comes Mercy and here comes Diva. But
that's kind of why I've been insta-locking Wrecking Ball. Because he's fun to play, and nobody ever wants to play tank.
A lot of D&D, a lot of planning for it. We have more characters coming in. If anyone has listened to the D&D cast, there's more people coming in soon. I don't know. It's hard. It is not easy, but this is fun still.
I bet. I'm glad you're having fun with it. You definitely looked like you were having a blast when we did the last session, which got me kind of hyped into it. So I think you're doing fine. It only gets better from here, John.
Or worse.
Nah.
Or worse. Oh, well, I mean, okay, well, I'm not talking about us playing it. I'm talking about, other stuff happening in the game.
Oh, yeah. In the game itself. I'm apparently going to get very upset, so.
What else have I actually been doing? I bought a car. That sucked.
Being an adult sucks.
Yeah, no, everything outside of playing games has sucked. So I just try to avoid that as much as possible. It's my escape.
I'm trying to get back into playing games because I usually just end up spending most of my time just laying around on my phone doing nothing
or socializing. Gross.
Or that
can't do that.
Yeah. Having an actual life is kind of weird. I've come to realize being very social also means dealing with a lot of drama. And a part of me goes, I might want to be not so social anymore.
I have things to say about that, but I won't say them.
You're going to chastise me for my decisions? Go ahead.
Well, I always chastise you for your decisions. Whether or not they are worthy of being chastised, I tell you that they're bad decisions. You could do something. You could create the cure for cancer, and I would chastise you because you didn't fast enough for some bullshit.
Or it's the cure for cancer, but it tints your skin a little green or something.
You know what? I would be okay with that. Stand out, man. Be a little bit more unique.
Looks like Beast Boy. You're a cancer survivor. Man, that wouldn't be a bad trade-off, honestly. If someone found the cure for cancer for something that small like that.
Yeah, you get to live now.
Yeah, that is
like there's no downside here. I don't care what the alleged downside is. There's no downside. You're alive.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. Somebody out there is going to point out what the downside is for having green skin. Just watch. Someone's gonna go on about that. I hope so. We need the traffic. We should just say just outrageous things and just post it to social media.
That works for some people, but that usually works for people who don't use anything close to their real name or face on the content that they create, and we've already kind of screwed that up. So that's no longer an option for us.
Come at me. Come at me, internet, with your outrage
Get him,
and
get him. I'll send him.
patriarchy.
I'll tell you where he lives.
I mean, you can. I think the worst that'll happen, I'll get like a box of shit in the mail.
Well, that's already on your doorstep right now.
Oh well,
I
that's
sent that FedEx overnight. Yes, this is an ad read.
X gonna get it to you.
X gonna give it to you.
Other than that, I really don't have much else.
Yeah, I couldn't come up
is...
with much else to talk to. We've been talking a lot of about other stuff that we can do for the Rektfast Club actually recently. I don't think we want to go into details about what those kind of things are, but we have a lot of things that are planned or proposed. Yeah, right now. So hopefully we have some more varied things to consume from us, because right now it's mostly just the main podcast, the Rektfast Club podcast, and the Tales Beyond the Tavern.
So we're making
D&D
the announcement
podcast,
now. We're bridging Dragon Ball Z.
We are not doing that. We are absolutely not doing
that. Oh, I'm sorry. We're bridging Paw Patrol.
Now you listen here, motherfucker. I know where you live, and I've seen where you sleep.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. The real announcement: we're doing Corey in the House Abridged.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid Corey in the House because it was the obvious bet, but okay.
No, but yeah, we got things in the works.
Yeah.
No actual. I'm hoping it'll be something you guys will like. We're gonna try to make it interesting. Try to make it unique.
For once, we're not very good at that.
No, not at all.
Well, we are good at self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I don't even know if we're good at that, honestly.
Apparently, some people at work find it offensive when I make fun of my weight.
They find it offensive when you make fun of your weight?
Yeah, they get mad at me. They're like, "Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that to yourself." I'm
okay.
Like,
are they also of a weight?
No.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I was just like, okay, I'll try not to make those jokes, but I think they're funny. So
I mean, because we're both on the not light side of scale, of the scale. So I mean, both of us like we make the jokes about ourselves. We understand. We know.
Yeah. Man, we could get into that whole thing. I really don't want to, because I don't think it's worth talking about. So I'm not even gonna bring it up. Just outrage culture in general is just stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's not so much like the actual outrage; it's more of what they're getting outraged about.
I don't know. I think sometimes it's there's things that are worth getting up in arms about.
No, I agree, but a lot of the time there's a lot of things that is just like, is this really like a conversation we need to be having? Like, why?
Yeah, I get that.
I think we'll save that for another conversation, because that could go on for like hours.
Probably. Or minutes. Or seconds. What else? What we got coming up? You doing anything independently on That Guy, Fat Guy, or Fat Hazard?
On Fat Hazard, I am actually working on putting together the second season intro for My Hero Academia to the Power Rangers theme.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you which theme, because I don't know when I'm going to have it done.
Well, you've already told me, but
I've told you, but I'm not going to tell everybody else listening, because someone's going to steal my idea.
Honestly, I think you might have mentioned it last time too.
I might have.
There's a possibility, but that's okay.
But I am going to tell you about the other idea I'm thinking about having. I'm thinking about cutting.
It's a terrible idea.
I'm thinking about cutting Voltron to the Gurren Lagann theme.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. But other than that, not really. For That Guy, Fat Guy, we have some stuff like what we want to do. We just haven't been able to get together to do it. So when we have the time to, we will probably get together and get that done. Other than that, we're gonna just be streaming. He's gonna be. Ro's coming over and spend the night tonight. So if movie night doesn't run too late tonight, we may end up streaming either us playing some sort of game or Spiderman.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
No definite promises, because again,
absolute promises. We have it in recording now.
Social butterfly here.
It is in recording.
I gotta hang out with the girls
This is going to be used in the court of law.
in the court of gaming.
The court of law and order. Dun dun.
Dun, dun. In the court.
In the justice system.
In the justice system, all streamers are held accountable for what they say.
It's true.
Dun, dun. I mean, most of them, anyways.
Well, most of them should.
Right? Unless you're Felix, then you can just kind of do whatever you want. Like, seriously. He literally did the one thing that you would think would get him destroyed and thrown off all platforms. Nah, he's good. He's gained more views, more traction. Good for him. I mean, I would hate to see someone's career go down because of a Freudian slip, but you know.
Freudian nip? What?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Freud. I just have the image of Freud pulling his shirt open and his nipples just erect beyond all belief.
Right. Yeah, well, we got stuff coming down the pipes, hopefully for Rektfast Club coming soon. I am expecting to hopefully soon get back into streaming myself.
You should.
I just need to get the equipment to come in the mail. That should be here soon. Once I do, I'll figure out what I want to do. Oh yeah, I'm getting it back.
Nice. Took you long enough.
Hey man, there was some confusion about what happened actually. Like they
we'll
thought.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I'll tell you about what happened later. But yeah, hopefully I should be able to get back onto the whole streaming circuit thing. That's Canis XL. Yeah.
More than likely, you can find me streaming for That Guy Fat Guy.
Yep.
On YouTube.
Hopefully stuff coming for Rektfast Club as well. Just random streams, stuff we're playing, stuff we're doing, stuff we're talking about.
I wonder, can we mirror to the Rektfast Club on YouTube?
There is, I do believe that there are services that let you stream to multiple platforms. I'm not sure about streaming to multiple accounts on the same platform, but there's probably some way that we could figure out how to get it to work.
Or do we want to just use the Twitch end and then, like you or me, pull up the YouTube and then just cast the screen?
That would probably look really terrible, but I mean, it's definitely an option. No, but that's stuff we can think about. But we do have stuff coming out of the pipes. Again, That Guy, Fat Hazard, Canis XL, and Rektfast Club. Look all those up in Twitter. I'll put stuff in the description. But yeah, that's what we got coming out soon, hopefully.
I guess that'll be it for us, you guys.
Yep.
Take it easy.
All right, catch you later.
Jesus.